rice absorbs up to 10 times more arsenic than any other grain you eat. And that arsenic slowly poisons the body by damaging your gut lining, disrupting your hormones, and even your DNA. And the new research shows your rice is also delivering a dose of microplastics in every single serve. Those plastics lodge into your gut lining and they trigger inflammation. And if you're cooking rice the way most people do, you're getting it at every single meal. Hi, I'm Leilani. I'm a clinical nutritionist and I'm a chef, and everything I share comes from my real clinical experience, as well as the latest research and a little tried and tested ancient wisdom. And today I'm going to show you what I call the rice reset, RICE. 4 simple steps you can use at home tonight to slash your arsenic levels by up to 73%, dramatically cut that microplastics load, and you're going to turn ordinary rice into a genuinely gut boosting food. So by the end of this video, you'll also know the best rice varieties and the upgrades to improve your gut microbiome diversity. And that, my friends, is the game changer for your health. Now, here's what most people don't know. Rice, like legumes and other grains, sorry, it's the cows outside, also trap its own nutrients, minerals to be exact, the iron, the zinc, the magnesium, they lock them inside. And so it passes straight through you or out of you when you eat. But this one simple step can actually make them far more bioavailable to your body. And I'm also going to show you an ancient trick that transforms rice from being a blood sugar spike into fuel for your good gut bacteria. Now, these small changes are minimal extra effort, but they do give you real results. So let's go. There's 2 things in your rice that you cannot see. First, arsenic. Second, microplastics. Arsenic is a group 1 carcinogen, and a recent report found arsenic in 100% of rice samples tested in the USA. And 1 in 4 of those actually exceeded the limits set for infant foods. And that long-term exposure causes DNA damage, but also gut microbiome disruption. And it's also been linked to cognitive decline, which so much of us have, right? Brain fog. This is not a scare tactic. This is the research. And a study from the University of Queensland, where I live, found that people typically consume 3 grams of microplastics per serving of home-cooked rice and up to 13 milligrams per serving of pre-cooked rice. So if you're eating pre-cooked rice 3 times a week, you're consuming equivalent of an entire plastic bottle cap worth of microplastics every year. That is just from rice alone, and it's entirely preventable. So what do? You rinse properly. The same study found rinsing reduced microplastics by up to 40%. And rinsing also removes the surface starch, the dust, and residual agrochemicals, all of which irritate a sensitive gut. This is how you do it. You're going to rinse your rice in cold water, swirl it with your hand, pour off the cloudy water, and you repeat this until the water runs clear. Now, that cloudiness you're pouring away, that's the debris, the pollutants. Don't skip this step. It really takes 2 minutes. It is the bare minimum for cooking rice. But rinsing alone only removes about 10% of arsenic. For that, you need the next method, which is a parboil and drain method. So you'll take your rinsed rice, add it to the pot, fill it with water, at least 6 parts of water to 1 part rice, and then you'll boil that for just 5 minutes. Drain it, and then add some fresh water, just enough to absorb it. And then you just finish on a low heat with the lid on. Research from the University of Sheffield found that this removes up to 73% of arsenic in white rice. And arsenic is water soluble, so that traditional absorption method actually locks the arsenic in, but the parboil and drain flushes it out. Now, I also recommend this parboil technique for pre-cooked rice. It removes those residual plastics and also the industrial seed oils that they're in there. And honestly, it tastes so much better. I can't eat that plastic food. It's weird until it gets washed well. So step 1 in the rice reset, rinse until clear, then parboil and drain. You don't have to fear rice. You just have to know what to do with it. Now, moving on, here's something ancient cultures knew that we've completely forgotten. Every grain contains phytic acid. Think of it like a lock trapping the minerals inside. Iron, zinc, magnesium, phosphorus, and then they just pass straight through you. The enzyme that unlocks it is called phytase. The problem is rice is super low in phytase. It can't unlock itself. So here's the hack. You're gonna put your washed rice in a glass bowl. Top it with room temperature filtered water and add a tablespoon of rye or buckwheat flour. These are both loaded with phytase, and leave it to soak for 8 to 12 hours. Now that phytase wakes up, the acid breaks down, and the minerals become bioavailable to you, like a mineral multivitamin built into your meal. And also the result is that rice is easier to digest. So you're going to have less bloating, and it also delivers on the nutrients. And honestly, in our nutrient depleted world, we need to get smarter about how we prepare our foods and how much nutrients we have every single day. And that is what my channel is here to help you with. Plus, I put together an ancient grain and legume preparation guide, how to soak rice, grains, and beans for the maximum nutrition. And you can grab it free inside my Gut Love email that's in the links below. Now, if you're short on time, you have to skip the soak and method, then I recommend cook your rice in a mineral-rich bone broth with a heat-stable fat, like a coconut oil or ghee. Also, to upgrade, add a pinch of turmeric. Curcumin, the active compound in turmeric, is one of the most well-researched anti-inflammatory compounds we have. And then you can add some black pepper as well to increase your absorption significantly. Now, this won't unlock the minerals the way soaking does, but the fat helps with the digestion. The broth adds the gut healing amino acids, and the turmeric, well, it's just doing its own thing quietly. So it's still a solid upgrade to plain water in a pot. The cows. So ancient cultures soaked and fermented and sprouted their grains. And I believe this is one of the reasons that we have so many food intolerances now. We just stopped preparing food correctly. And they didn't have IBS back then. They didn't have a lot of chronic diseases, actually. It's a really interesting topic because it wasn't a trend, it was actually wisdom. Okay, so here's the one thing that blows away my clients' minds. Cooked rice, so rice that's cooked and then cooled for 12 to 24 hours, changes the chemical structure so that the starch molecules rearrange into resistant starch, meaning it resists digestion in your small intestine and instead travels further down the colon, feeding your beneficial gut bacteria so they can produce butyrate. And this is like the liquid gold of gut healing substances. This is a short chain fatty acid. I talk about it all the time, and this really does help heal your gut lining. Plus, it reduces the inflammation that's going on in your body and supports your immune system. We could all use a little bit of support internally, right? Now, if you add a teaspoon of coconut oil per cup of rice before the cooling, that fat actually binds to the starch, increasing the resistant starch formation, at least, and doubling it. Plus, the cooled rice is significantly better for your blood sugar response than freshly cooked rice, which multiple human studies confirm that. All right, drop a comment. Are you team white rice, brown rice, red rice? I'll cover which rice is actually best for your gut health in a moment. But first, I want to cover something that is even more important than that. If you're doing all this and you're still struggling with bloating, irregular bowels, fatigue, that constant kind of off feeling, the root cause is usually something a lot deeper, like a gut microbiome dysbiosis, sometimes SIBO. And here's what I see in my clinic. People that are eating perfectly well and still feel totally off. And if this is the case, it does not fix itself. It's not a willpower problem, it's a gut ecosystem problem. And it needs a specific protocol, not just a guess. And that's why I created a gut reset and repair program. It's for people who want the same step-by-step protocol I use with my private clients, but without the cost of, say, one-on-one consults. It's got the therapeutic foods, targeted support, real results. I'll put the links below if that feels like you. So which rice varieties support your gut? Because not all rice is created equal. One of the main things is rotating varieties can help build microbiome diversity. because good gut microbes eat what you eat. And every variety of rice offers different polyphenols and a different makeup that feeds a variety of different microbes. And think of it like a rainforest. It's all a symbiotic relationship, right? So the more variety, more diversity is better gut health. Now, for people with sensitive guts, I do recommend generally just sticking with white rice for now. It's less phytic acid, less fiber to ferment in the wrong places. I wish you could see, I've got like 50 cows that I'm looking at right now. They're all staring at me. It's hilarious. And so it's got less irritation. Now, don't always believe the hype that brown rice is better for you. It actually has higher arsenic. Let's move on to red rice. Moving on to red rice. These guys are loaded with anthocyanins and polyphenols that act as a prebiotic. They feed your beneficial bacteria while fighting inflammation. And it's a lower glycemic impact than white rice. Black rice, and this one deserves its own moment. Black rice is one of the most powerful gut foods you can eat. The anthocyanins in black rice have been shown in multiple peer-reviewed studies to increase Akkermansia, Bifidobacterium, Lactobacillus, 3 of the most crucial bacteria for gut lining integrity, immune regulation, and metabolic health. And you can actually find the black rice at some sushi places in the sushi rolls. So that is definitely my go-to order. So then there's wild rice, and it's technically a different grain, but it's one of the most underrated things you can add into your rotation. The research shows that wild rice significantly increases Lactobacillus gazzeri. It's a strain specifically linked to clinical trials that reduce that stubborn belly fat and improve blood sugar regulation. It also produces more propionic acid, which is a short-chain fatty acid that research shows negatively correlates with cholesterol and blood sugar markers. And it contains 3 times the fiber of white rice. So here are my recommendations. White rice when your gut needs something a bit more gentle. Red and black rice when you want to feed the good gut bacteria. And the wild rice when you want more diversity and can handle the fiber. So, or you could just rotate them all and mix them together. And ideally, you just soak the colored variety longer and then you can cook it with the white rice. So I want to know, what is your favorite rice recipe? And if you can have one with black rice or white rice, even better. Mine is just fried rice. I kind of do it with a bit of a saute with bone broth because I'm a nutritionist, but it has the Asian flavors, which are gorgeous. And also it uses the retrograde resistant rice starch. So there it is, the full rice reset. Rinse and parboil to remove the arsenic and plastics. I infuse with bone broth and turmeric. C, cool with coconut oil to create resistant starch. And E, eat a variety that matches the needs of your gut. And if you love this video, you're gonna love my next video on how to make quinoa gut friendly. I'll leave it right here. Click it before you forget. Until next time, love your guts.